Hi, I'm Chalna Maheva and I'll be explaining task 3.1p arrays and lists. In this task, we have 10 tasks within the individual task, and we can use the debugging method to test this program. And we can start debugging by clicking Start Debug. We can use the locals and watch and the terminal to check our program. Now in task 8, we are testing arrays for palindromes. Now I have given 5 arrays for the palindrome check, and this will print whether each array is a palindrome. Now we can move over these lines, and this is the palindrome method to check if an array is a palindrome, and this if loop will return false for an empty array, and this is the start index, and this is the end index, and this will compare elements from start and end moving towards the center. And this if loop, if the array start is not equal to array end, then it will return false. So you can see the array palindrome is set to false, and then we move over these lines, and this will check for the given arrays. So you can see the first array is false in the local. This will print array to the console, and this will check if the array is a palindrome, and this will print the result to the console. Now we can step over these lines to check if our code is working as expected. As we step over these lines within the locals, the end index, the start index, and the array value is getting updated. So you can see it has given the output with a palindrome check for array 1. As you can see, this array is a palindrome which is true, which means our code is working as expected. Now we can use the same method to check if the array 2, array 3, and array 4 and 5 are palindromes. We'll go through each element and we'll compare elements from start to the end moving towards the center, and if they are equal, it will get checked true for the palindrome and we print the result to the console. As you can see, the loops are iterating through each element within these arrays. As you can see, we have gone through 4 arrays, which has proven that first one is true, the second one is false. When comparing elements from start and end moving towards the center, it should be equal. This is not equal, which has given the palindrome as false, which means our program is working as expected. Now in task 9, we are going to merge 2 arrays together. For this, I have given 7 lists for merging. Now we can step over these lines, and these lines of code will print the merge list to the terminal. Now we can step over these lines to test the merge method. Now this is the method for merging 2 lists together, and this is the index for list A and this is the index for list B, and this will flag to check if list A is sorted, and this will flag to check if list B is sorted, and this for loop will check if list A is sorted, and this for loop will check if list B is sorted. Now we can step over this line to see if our code is working as expected. As you can see, within the locals, each list A and list B elements are getting updated within the locals. Can move over these lines quickly because this will be iterating over each element within the list. Now it's going to be using this method to merge each list in the ascending order. Now if we go to the terminal, at last it will print the merged list using this method to the terminal. This will add the remaining elements from list A, and this will add the remaining elements from list B, and this will return the merged list. Now we can step over these lines to see if our code is working as expected. So you can see the first list 1 and list 2 has been merged in the ascending order, which means our code is working as expected. Now we can follow the same process for the rest of the given lists. As you can see, I went through each of the lists and was returned with the merged list in ascending order and null value because the last 2 lists given, which is list 6 and list 7, were not sorted, and our code was expected to give us a null value if the 2 lists were not sorted, which means our code is working as expected. Now in task 10, we are using a method to convert a 2D array to a 1D array with only odd numbers. And this line of code will create a list to hold odd numbers, And this line of code will iterate over columns of the 2D array, and this line of code will iterate over rows of the 2D array, and this will add odd numbers to the list, and lastly convert the list to array and return. This is how our code is supposed to work. We can step over this line, and we can closely inspect this code with the breakpoints given to check if our code is working as expected. I have given a two-dimensional array for this method to test. As you can see within the local suite, these values are getting updated each time we step over a code of line. So you can see our code is going to iterate through each element within the two-dimensional array. And these lines of code will print the array to the console as a one-dimensional array. As you can see, our two-dimensional array was converted to a one-dimensional array successfully, which means our code is working as expected for the task 10. Throughout this debugging process, we didn't run into any errors within our program, which means our code is working as expected. So that's all for my discussion. Thank you.